A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Stave 1. Marley's Ghost. Marley was dead to begin with. There is no doubt whatever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker. What? This is not the Charles Dickens live stream? The Bob Ross live stream. Hold on. Got to get in the spirit of it. This is where theme music would come in handy. How's that? Good? Welcome to the Bob Ross Happy Little live stream. I'm Ron Scalzo, the host of one of the top 5 Bob Ross podcasts of all time, The Joy of Bob Ross, a Happy Little podcast. We're doing another Bob Ross rewatch here on Twitch alongside some very special guests from the Bob Ross universe. I'll introduce them shortly. You can check out 48 award-winning episodes of the podcast on the Bob Ross channel. It's on YouTube. It's on Spotify. We did some video episodes recently. We conned at TwitchCon. And I just got back from the Windy City where I watched Bozo the Clown lead a Bob Ross painting class. Bozo, by the way, is actually actor and certified Ross instructor David Arquette. He went full Andy Kaufman / Joaquin Phoenix. He stayed in character the whole time as Bozo. It was a true tour de force performance of method acting, unlike this. And that's our latest podcast episode. Check it out now on all the thingies. First up, we got a certified Bob Ross instructor from Pennsylvania. Let's give a warm hello to Erin Nelson. Hello, Erin.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Hi, where's your wig?
Oh, I missed the memo. I have a tiny little Santa hat and a paintbrush.
Yeah, is that a hat? Is that a Santa hat?
It is.
It's very exotic. Speaking of exotic, is that your painting behind you?
Yes, this is one that Doug did, and then I have a couple of Bobs strewn about the room, but replicas that I did.
Bob Ross was a Corvette man. He supposedly enjoyed life in the fast lane, and so do you. Is that true?
I do. I ride
Corvettes.
not Corvettes, but 2 wheels, motorcycles. Yep. I have a motorcycle. I have an FZ 1000 sport touring bike now, and traditionally I had a crotch rocket most of the time. I've been riding since.
I assume that's a motorcycle.
Yes, it is. It's a Japanese, usually motorcycle. I like Kawasaki and Yamaha, but I've been riding since I was 20, so that's like, gosh, 17 years now.
Now, you had what I learned from you is that you had never heard of Bob Ross until a few years ago.
Yes,
And
unfortunately,
now
I guess I just
you're a
wasn't on.
CRI.
Yeah, so that's a quick story. I just it came on Netflix. They had the whole series. I was like, cool. I love painting because I've been painting in acrylic all my life, and I was like, cool. Let's watch this. And Bob's so soothing. It's one of the reasons everybody loves him. And I very shortly after that, right before COVID, they had all of his paintings on display in Virginia, and it was like the first time it came up that side of the East Coast. It was like 4 hours drive. I was like, I'm on it. I'm on it. And I go out there and I get to see all these beautiful paintings in person. And I mean, you could get like within like 2 feet of this thing. Like it was very, very close. I was super stoked.
Mhm.
And then I learned through one of their videos that they had talking about Bob's life and everything else that you could become a CRI. And I was like, okay, signed up right now. Thank you. And then COVID hit. And so my journey as a CRI instructor got a little delayed, but eventually I got there, and I got certified in 2021. So it's been a little delayed because I had a baby.
Well, that's a good excuse. Stand by while we introduce our Twitch partner. He is also a New Yorker like me, so maybe you might hear an accent in there somewhere. He's also a speed runner on Twitch and a speed demon on the guitar. Let's give a happy little welcome to the Retro Runner. Hello, Retro.
Hey, how's it going, Ron? Ron from Gravesend. You're great. No, I don't talk like that at all.
That's right. Wait.
I don't talk like that at all. But thanks for having me, Ron.
You've done some Bob Ross paintings yourself. It sounds like more than once.
Yeah, not like many, but so before I'm a full-time streamer on Twitch, but before that, I was a failed musician. But even before that, I wanted to be an artist, and I loved sketching and drawing a lot, and kind of wanted to like maybe 10 years old, I kind of wanted to experiment with like other mediums, and I'd always watched Bob Ross like religiously every Saturday at noon. And yeah, so my parents got me like a few of the kits, right? So I did like I think maybe 4 or 5 full Bob Ross paintings.
You're a Twitch guy, man. You speed run on Twitch. That's like a huge thing I learned at TwitchCon. What give me the short origin story of Retro Runner, the speed runner. How did you get into that?
Not unplanned totally. I basically my friend showed me a video of this speed run, and I was like, it looks pretty cool. And then I got into watching them, and slowly I started like trying to mimic them. And definitely the pandemic helped out a lot with this, not having a whole lot to do. I really started to get pretty addicted to trying this speed run thing, which is this like weird, it's kind of odd niche hobby that's very popular, granted, mind you, on Twitch. But you're just trying to beat a game as fast as possible, which sounds straightforward maybe, but then there's a lot that goes into it. It's very difficult. There's and then there's this competitive aspect to it, I guess, too. That you can submit your time to a website called speedrun.com, and you'll be amongst all the other people who run the game that you do, and a ranked leaderboard. And I don't know, I just kept on doing it, and I got higher and higher on these leaderboards. Very lucky to have amassed an amazing community, which I also found to be that's really what I do. That's really what basically any broadcaster does. Is yes, there's this speedrunning thing going on, but I'm creating the space for people to hang out and connect and interact, and that's the most fulfilling part of streaming on Twitch. I would say.
We are doing a Bob Ross happy little rewatch, and because it's the Christmas season, we're going to watch something from the speedrunner of painting. I'm a sucker for holiday themed TV episodes, not just the Rudolphs, not just the Grinches and the Charlie Browns, but I also loved it when a regular old TV show went full Christmas one week. Remember Appointment Television? Probably not. Not on this platform. Tonight, we're going to light a happy little Christmas candle for, I don't know if this is going to work, but
That's a lot to
it's going to
fit
be out
on
of
one
frame.
head.
Let's see. We're gonna. I might have to move out. We're gonna light a happy little Christmas candle for Bob Ross and enjoy a holiday-themed live stream podcast episode featuring a very merry and bright episode of The Joy of Painting, season 15, episode 9, Bob Ross's Christmas Eve Snow. Ooh. Ironically, this episode originally aired in 1988 in late June, which even for most folks is probably a little too early to start celebrating the holidays, even nowadays. But we're going to watch it when it was meant to be watched, here and now, in these virtual boxes, and see if that makes the painting any more colorful. Our technical producer, Jolly James Shapiro, he's stuffed inside Bob's stocking. He's going to run the show and hit pause when we ask him to on the VCR. So without further ado, sit back, relax. Here's The Joy of Painting, season 15, episode 9, Christmas Eve Snow. It's the Bob Ross holiday party, the rewatch party. Let's roll it. Come on, Jolly. It's my theme song.
Fantastic theme song.
I wrote this song.
It's beautiful. You should get it
Just the bass
copyrighted.
line.
You should start a band
Hey,
where we only cover this song.
I was gonna say.
A fantastic little painting. So I tell you what, let's get started. Have them run all the colors across the screen that you need to paint along with me, and they'll come
Bob
across
lose a
in
button prior to air?
palette, starting with a white and working.
I don't know. Maybe he's just feeling a little more sexy this episode.
This is season 15. He's in his prime. This is peak Bob right here.
Yeah, he's
Peak
living
Daddy
it
Bob.
up.
And then on top of that, I've added a mixture.
I just want to say I love Black Canvas episodes. Black Gesso episodes are probably the best, and I find that most people kind of echo that sentiment.
We'd do a little mountain winter scene.
I always
something-
wonder how he never got paint on his shirt.
Start off with the
How?
2-inch brush today.
It's because it's open all the way.
A small amount.
No, I mean, he
Oh,
holds
that's
it
why
so
it's open.
close.
As I mentioned before, these black canvases are fantastic if you want to amaze friends and relatives and etc.
Bob
because
loves
they
the
don't
black
see
canvases,
the
too.
color on top of
He
the
does.
black, and it's transparent. And then when you come in here and you add a little bit of white, just all kinds of beautiful little things just happen. And today,
Now,
I just
Erin,
want
when
to
you
add a
teach
very small
classes, do
amount
you tell them, "Hey, we're
of the
going to do the
titanium
black
white.
canvas today"? Is that like a special treat for them?
It's sort of when they walk in and they see that it's black and they're like, is this right? And I'm like, yes, it's right. We're doing a black canvas today. And they have no idea how it's going to work or what's happening. But I do that because it takes too much time to put the gesso on. A lot of my classes have to be crammed into like 2 hours.
Yeah, it takes a while to. It can take a while to dry, right?
I mean, 15, 20 minutes,
Yeah.
that can make or break,
Sure.
tension span.
Let's wash the brush. Shake it off. Beat the devil out of it. Just pull a little color into the bristles. Yep, you're right. There he is. I'm just using the top corner of the brush and just making tiny little circles. Just tiny little circles, tiny little circles. There you go.
He
Just
has
sing
such
along as you're
tight
doing this.
little circles.
Tiny little circles. There you go.
Yeah, that's not easy to do. He makes
No,
it
it's
look
not.
easy, but tight circles with the this brush.
But look how color stands out on this black canvas. It's unreal. It's unreal.
I've actually switched to the 1-inch brush for most things on Bob paintings.
Wherever.
Do you think it was just like a muscle memory thing that he had, that he was a little bit more efficient with the corner of the 2-inch brush?
More of the color? Maybe. Yeah.
Probably practice, honestly.
Right.
You can get super efficient, but
They're a lot of fun. A lot of
the
fun.
2-inch one
Very easy to do.
requires so much extra tilt in your wrist to not get the rest of the brush on the canvas. I find this easier for most new students to try it with the 1-inch brush first.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Clouds are so free. So free. They are just one of
Doc
the
Vortex
freest
in the
things
chat
in
says,
nature.
"My wrist ache just looking at that."
They do. They do
Is-
ache.
Yeah, is it hurty?
yeah. I usually make a joke that if they haven't worked out for the day, they're about to, because it starts up here and it goes all the way
Have a
down.
good time all day. Okay, now I'll take a large brush and I'm very gently just beginning to blend the base
So
of
it
this.
seems disappointing when Bob beats the brush and doesn't say "beat the devil out of it."
Blend it, blend it, blend it.
Oh, I'm sure he'll say it.
Once again, color
Well, he
shows
did
up
at
so
the
much
top, but
stronger on the
I
black
guess you can't say it
canvases.
more than once an episode. There he goes again. Nothing.
There we go. Look at that.
There are episodes where he says it more
Now you
than
can
once,
blend these
Joseph.
till they're dead, so don't overdo it. Just blend just enough to stir them up a little bit, mix them
I
up.
love how his light blend there, like, super transforms what he initially lays in with the titanium white. Also, super light touch to do that. Not easy.
And I'm going to fluff them, lift
It
them.
is a little bit easier, though, with his paints than if you've ever tried traditional
Is
oil
it?
paints. Yeah, because his paints are so stiff.
Just gentle.
You have to use pressure, so just letting up on the pressure just allows it to do that.
Very lightly.
That's what makes, I think, his painting so successful for new people.
Boy, that's some
Erin Brian the
fantastic little
Beast
cloud.
asks, "Any advice for someone who's inspired but inexperienced? Maybe a more forgiving type of image, say mountains and trees,
Stand out once again.
or something with water in it?"
Actually, I'd say water is probably easier. Most people get more stressed about the mountains because the knives are harder to work with, because there actually is more technique with the knife. I feel like anyway.
No spoilers, but I have a feeling we're going to find out about that pretty soon in this episode.
Go
I got a
figure.
feeling too, Ron.
Today, I'm going to use just black.
I'm sure some not
Van-
easy. He just said there's a
Van
mountain.
Dyke brown.
He's
Some of the
hearing
mountain.
me.
He heard
The
you.
wig.
I'm sure
the
that
wig?
there's
We're
somebody
mu-
out there who has figured out how many mountain paintings versus seascapes he's done.
Okay, cut off a little roll of paint, have it right on the edge of the knife. Now then,
we
you
pause
have
this
to
for
make
a
a major
second, James?
decision. Where does your mountain live in your world? I think he's
Now I've done this a couple of times, and in this episode, I notice right off the bat, we talk about Bob being a speed runner. He's mixing that paint so quickly. He's like, "Oh, I want to mix this, this, and this. Beep, 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 and I'm done."
Hmm.
Is it that simple when you're doing it? I guess because I've always felt like He's a master at that. Like he's just like a wizard.
Well, I typically do have to repeat the colors multiple times, but, what I
Yeah.
always reference to is, folding it like bread or dough. If that usually gets people to mix
Mm.
it correctly. So I do
Get
a lot of
started on
baking terms and a lot of cooking references when I'm doing it, because at least most people know what folding bread or folding dough is, so they can kinda turn it over, smash it down, turn it over, smash it down. And I kind of explain that too, just in case. But yeah, it goes pretty
a
fast.
lot
I
of
mean, it doesn't take a lot of time.
I've noticed CRIs use a lot of food references when they talk about measurements and Hershey Kisses and Tootsie Rolls. Everybody's got a candy fetish in the CRI world. All right,
Okay,
start
you
the
can
tape
blame the
again.
Hershey Kisses on Nick.
So let's go right up in here and let's just drop us in a nice big mountain. Nice big mountain. I like to do mountains because it gives you a lot of experience with a knife. Once you learn how to do mountains with this knife, oh, it's your friend. You can do anything. Maybe this comes over here, and there's another peak that lives right there. Wherever we want them. There. If you can do mountains with this knife, you
Is there
can
a
do
particular
or you can do rocks,
brush or
stones,
knife that
stones,
that you enjoy the ASMR of more?
in some of the past series, we've
Myself,
done entire paintings using nothing but the knife. Absolutely nothing but the knife.
no, not a particular one. I would say no. I like all of them for different reasons.
We'll have to do some more of those type shows. It's interesting to see what can be done just using a knife. It's a little difficult because of the time restraints.
I think I get more excited about Bob's little noises, little whooshes,
Oh yeah,
little
the
little.
noises.
Whew, that looks beautiful. Whew, isn't that
You
just
got to
so
do the
pretty?
noises, or the technique doesn't work. It's straight from the
It
Exactly.
man's
doesn't work.
lips.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So advice
It's
for
true.
that
It's been proven.
person: do the noises.
I hope you can see those on your TV set. But you can lay out entire
Gmod
mountains
Artist 12 likes the
just using
knife
brush
scrubbing
strokes,
against
and you're not committed.
the
You can
canvas.
change it repeatedly,
Color holder
hundreds of
thing is
times.
my favorite.
But it teaches you how to make your mountain look the way you want it to look.
Palette.
The color, I think that's what he called it. The color holder
Yes,
thing.
I think he means palette. The color holder thing is the palette.
Okay, let's put some snow
That's a
on the
new
ground.
one.
For that, I'm going to use titanium white. Pull the paint out firmly. Just really get in there and raise the devil with it. Now then, no pressure. Just let it touch the canvas and graze. All it's touching is that roll of paint. It just grazes the canvas.
Now, Retro, you think this is challenging for
Graze
you?
it, caress it.
Yeah, I would say so. He always says that you have to have the lightest touch, and even keeping that in mind, it's like lighter than you're even thinking. It's very easy to just like. I remember the first time I tried to highlight a mountain, and me having a knack for like artistic things, I was like, I'm gonna get this right. Really light, and it's like just completely smeared a mountain, ruined, like not fragmented and like having a lot of depth like Ross's highlights do. I found that
Anything
it
can be
maybe
fixed.
took to me like second or third painting, I think, before I was really happy with the mountain highlighting.
I think that's everybody, honestly.
Is that
Yeah, because one of my favorite stories to tell my students is the time that I cried in my CRI class the very first time I had to use a knife. Because
oh
I had
no.
never used a knife before and I had never used oils before. I went to go get certified to be a teacher without ever touching oils and without ever using a knife. I don't know what I was thinking. But I tried to use the knife and I just couldn't master the technique, and I thought I was doing something wrong, but it wasn't. It had nothing to do with the touch. If everybody wants the advice that Nick gave me, my instructor, who's now doing the Joy of Bob Ross series, the biggest thing is use your shoulder. You use your whole arm. Don't just do this, because eventually you'll put more and more pressure on it. So if you do it like this and you swoop the whole arm out, you can lay off
see.
the pressure on the knife.
I see. So it's not just
Trade
about the light
secrets.
It's
touch.
not just
From the
about the
shoulder
pressure.
keeps that light touch
Mhm.
consistent, right? Okay,
Right,
that
and
makes a lot of sense.
standing up really helps. So if you don't stand up and you're doing these paintings, you should try standing up.
But you need a very firm, dry paint. It's most important. Now you have to make some big decisions. Where does these peaks live? Are they in the background, in the foreground? We'll put this one in the
There's those
foreground.
big decisions.
Like so. Okay, I'm gonna take some white, use some Prussian blue,
There he goes.
some
Speed
black.
bumps setting up.
Looking for a gray
All right,
blue
I'll
color.
teach
Now,
you,
Retro,
Ron. It's
you
okay.
could.
Blue.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's not bad.
No, I'm just gonna say I'll teach you how to do
Once
that
again,
really
regular
fast.
paint.
Well, you
Now
can
we can come
appreciate
back
this
in here.
retro, right? The art of not just doing things well, but doing them quickly.
All kinds of little shapes.
Oh yeah, I mean he's being super efficient also. To produce a
It's on the clock.
half-hour episode every week live, and just have it be gorgeous. I think that's a testament to his system as well, though, because for him, and all of us really no mistakes, just happy accidents, and you get to go on this little half-hour journey with him.
But it's always fun. Just come directly.
You speak of the half an hour, and to be honest, we're almost halfway through this episode, and he still has a lot of canvas to cover. Like a lot of canvas to cover, and it's so easy to get going on these paintings and lose track of time. And the fact that he can do these in, I think, 24 minutes, because they had to allot time for commercials
Right.
and the beginning and everything, just amazes me every time I watch him do one. This one in particular, he seems to be really engrossed in the mountains and almost forgetting that he has the rest of the painting to fill up.
And yet I'm already blown away. I'm not
I
blowing
know.
smoke, Bob. Like I know there's more to come, but it's like holy mackerel! Like look at that already.
Well, you just see it come to life from absolutely nothing.
Exactly. I think that's whether you paint or not, that's always the appeal.
Mm-hmm.
The unfolding.
This reminds me of my home in Alaska, where God was having a good day when he made Alaska. So beautiful. If you've never been there, you ought to go see it while it's still wild.
Yeah, who's been to Alaska? Not me.
Never been myself.
I'm not a big fan of the cold, honestly, but
So
it
beautiful.
makes me want to go.
Let's go.
My favorite uncle sent me there. Uncle
Okay.
Stop
Sam.
now.
He
Let's get our tickets.
All right, podcast over. Let's go to Alaska.
Listen, I want the Bob Ross folks to send me there. If you want me to do a podcast episode about Bob Ross's time in Alaska, type Alaska in the chat. They said if we get 4 Alaskas, I'm going.
Florida. I didn't know that things like that even existed.
There you go. I just gave you one.
I did too.
Okay, we're halfway there.
We're halfway.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I gotta give one to myself. Hold on.
We did it.
Yes!
We did it. Going to Alaska.
We'll all go.
To break.
Bob
Create
says
all of those beautiful.
Uncle Sam sent him to Alaska. And think about it. If Uncle Sam sends Bob to the Philippines or, God forbid, Newark, New Jersey, this is probably a totally different TV show.
True.
Bob painting landfills.
Goat has to have a place to go hide. We're going to cover it all up. So don't be worried about it.
This is extremely important to do because this is how you get distance.
These angles. Look at the angles in your mountain and follow them.
Misty areas. The misty
I want to create that illusion of mist. Beat the brush to remove excess paint. Now, maybe right in here. Sometimes you can very gently just blend things together here. See, just blend them together. It'll make it look like it's a little misty area laying right between those. There. We'll bring it right on down. Now, very lightly, 2 hairs in some air. Grab that
Did it again.
and lift
Very
upward.
special Bob Brush.
Gently lift upward, upward, upward.
Yeah, what is that time number?
I gotta beat
5?
around 10 devils now. Yeah, it's Christmas after all. He's beating devils.
All of these. Just
Out of here, devils.
diffuse
Chris.
the bottom of the mountain. So it looks like it's sitting right there, right in the mist. Okay, we can wash this old brush. Give him a good scrub, shake him off. Some Van Dyke Brown, Alizarin Crimson. Doesn't
Brian B
matter.
says Bob's such a peaceful genius. He could make Jersey look appealing.
Yeah, I'll bet he
Probably.
could make
That's a-
some of the more suburban parts of Jersey into a Bob Ross painting.
I listen. I lived in Jersey. There are some beautiful parts of Jersey. I don't want to disparage
Sure,
Jersey.
yeah,
Liberty
yeah.
State Park, everybody.
I don't think I've ever been to Jersey either.
That's all right. That's all right.
I
That's
drove to
all
the
right.
We're
mountains.
going to Alaska. Doesn't
I always
matter.
go to Nick's area, Tennessee, North Carolina, motorcycles.
Against that lighter mountain color.
That's so
Maybe
cool.
they cut-
Like creating depth like that, blocking in the trees against the mountain mist.
hmm
Variation.
Everybody in class always asks me what I find the hardest, and it's these little tap and crash trees.
A little more interesting if it goes over which way.
It's just so easy to get overzealous and lose the shape of that brush.
Here, I don't know. Wherever you want it.
Right, because if you
Where-
apply too much pressure, then you're not going to get the like the kind of narrow tree stalks.
Well, or if you go too many trees, like you can only do a small section at a time.
Trees are closer to us, and they're big and they're strong.
That takes courage. That I found that to be daunting when you'd have to lay in especially like a big old brown tree trunk in front of a mountain. I found that to be nerve-wracking.
It's one of my favorite parts to do.
Thinner, because a thin paint will stick on top of a thicker paint. There.
I was going to finish the sentence, but I wanted him to say it.
Sometimes people write and tell me that they're having some problems.
The other thing you can do is scrape some of that white off to get it to stick.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of against adding paint thinner to make it stick until the end.
Demonstrations and
Why is that? Will it kind of muddy up or have the potential to muddy up the rest
Well,
of the
paint-
painting if you
paint
do it too
thinner-
much?
It destroys paint. It's
Yeah.
meant to get it off. So you add it to it, you run the risk of like disintegrating the paint behind it. So I'd rather scrape
Right,
it off
yeah.
first and see if it sticks.
just here and there. I know those are hard to see,
My
but there's little
favorite thing
lines.
officially is when he puts the highlights on trees. It's my Bob Ross fetish.
That'll zing it. Let me find a big
Yeah,
brush.
see, I'll tell you, anytime I ask for something, Bob's giving it to me.
Maybe I'll do it at the end. I don't know.
Canvas already. We have a blue and black mixture. So when we
Come on, put some snow
we
on
put
those
color
trees,
on
man. It's Christmas
think-
Eve.
I think he realized he was getting late in the episode.
What do you think
And we're
Bob did
depending-
on Christmas? Did he paint on Christmas, or did he just watch It's a Wonderful Life?
I love It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites too. I'm saving it. I haven't watched it yet. This
Probably
season. This season.
painted while
no, that's-
watching It's a Wonderful
Got to
Life.
watch that on Christmas Eve. After Christmas Eve snow.
I think he watched it while painting.
Final answer? Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
very soon after you
Someone
start
should
painting
do,
in this method,
some
you'll
Bob
learn-
Ross. If you're a CRI or a painter out there, you can steal this idea too, Erin.
Okay.
Do some Bob Ross themed iconic Christmas scenes from famous Christmas movies.
Yeah. Okay, I could do that. I can get Ralphie's little metal sign going in the middle of a
Right, I was thinking.
snowy area
Right.
with a cabin.
You can fix everything that
Put a
happens.
few bullet holes in it.
Fear. Well, we have a lot of fear when we first touch a big old blank canvas.
I'll hashtag you in there.
But once you get over that, that's when you really begin experiencing joy of painting. There.
And there we
Retro,
go.
have you gotten over that fear that Bob's talking about? Having done this a few times, or are you still scared?
Well, I was
Okay.
like 10, I think. By the time I stopped, I didn't get any more Bob Ross kits or whatever. But yeah, by the fourth and fifth painting, I kind of learned to get, and I started to get kind of the hang of highlights and stuff. And it's not even just technique wise. You kind of, like as Erin was saying, you got to kind of have an eye for it. You can just like easily over highlight something or just kind of ruin the illusion a little bit. Who knows? Maybe I'll do another one day. Maybe Lady Gaga.
I'm like, what? Yeah,
We'll
what's
hang
holding
out
you
and do
back?
one.
Where have you been? Yeah, come on, dude.
I call them hang-you-downs for lack of a better word. but they're always in evergreen trees, those little hangy down things. There. See, this one's closer.
Now I understand why Lady G doesn't like the scraping.
That once again helps create that illusion of distance. We'll have him a little friend right there. Okay, now then we can reach up under here, grab some of that dark, and pull it down. That creates our shadow under our tree, fixes the bottom of the tree, all in one stroke.
Another important little tiny detail.
Blue, it's a brighter blue. Nice bright blue. Okay, maybe there's a happy little path. Need a little more blue. Doesn't show up enough for you to see it well. There. See? Just a little path that lives right in there.
Little tiny color change made such a difference.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That blue makes it cold, but phthalo blue's
Power of
quite...
paint.
And here and there you
I was
can...
just about to say how kind of like this painting is almost monochromatic, but there's so many shades, different shades of the same color that creates so much depth and movement. Really fun stuff.
Just make all kinds of happy little things going on.
I do like the monochromatic ones a lot.
This is a nice place for a little building.
Or a limited
Let's
color palette,
have...
because technically he does have red in this one.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, what is he
Scrape
doing
out
now?
the basic shape. Just take
He's gonna put
the
in a
knife.
cabin.
Is it a cabin?
Scrape out
Yep,
You're going to
it's a
cabin
cabin.
this up?
It's a cabin.
I saw the way
We
he
got
held
cabin.
that knife, and I said cabin.
We got cabin, folks.
Moobot said 55%, so
Still not committed at that point. All you're doing is
this
just
is
scrape.
typical. It's 4 minutes left in the episode, and Bob's building hotels in the North Pole. Like it's nobody's business.
Complete with snowy tops, apparently. How much you want to bet he's going to add at least
trust
one window?
He's just getting started.
Have a beautiful straight edge. Sneaky, huh? There we go. Now we need a little bit of snow on the other side of the roof over here. Just like that.
Is it a cabin now? Is it a shed?
Just blocking it in. Now we'll take some dark sienna and some white.
Erin, have you attempted this?
A cabin?
Very gently.
Last minute structure of some sort?
You know,
Nice.
yes, I have. I have. Cabins are actually one of my least favorite
Now we can
parts of Bob's paintings.
just whack off the bottom.
Why is that?
Like just aesthetically or technique wise, or maybe somehow both.
I love the technique. I just can't ever decide where I want to put it. And so that's my struggle. That tree that he always talks about, putting it somewhere, or that gigantic evergreen that's going in there, making big decisions. That's my big decision. It's putting in a cabin and finding somewhere for it.
I mean, it is.
And
It's a cabin or to
Bob's,
not, and the correct place.
A little steeple right
Oh, it's a
there.
church.
it's a church, and he's clearly including a chimney in the church to give Santa a chance.
There, the snow laying all up around there.
Who is going to this church?
Yeah, wait, hold on. Can you stop the video? This is one of the other things I wanted to say. So he's making a church at the base of a misty mountain in a remote forest.
I love it.
And, like
With
parents
no
are
path.
like, all right, kids, we gotta go
There's plenty
midnight
of-
mass because Bob Ross put this church here. All right,
Hey, listen, it's Christmas Eve. There's plenty of parking.
get your hiking gear.
Let's- let-
We're
let-
going.
Get the church. Come on, let him build the church, James.
And
We're all going to this church.
smoke. So it's in
we'll-
operation.
Yeah, there's stuff happening in that church.
Scrape out.
Ben
Indication
Met
of-
3 in the chat says I've been there.
We'll take a little bit of cad yellow.
We might actually be inside it right now.
Put in the indication of a little light coming through those
That's
windows.
cold. I'm going to this church.
Oh,
the
it's
lights
lit.
are on at the
It's
church.
lit. Yeah, there you go. Midnight mass.
Yeah, the church. I was going to say we got to name this the International Church of Bob Cakes.
Cold day. Cold day. Okay, back to my...
Erin, I know these. I've had the experience a couple of times. I know these last-minute little things seem somewhat insignificant, but is it like I find that the subtlest touches in these paintings make a huge difference in the final product.
No, they really do. I just cabins are my least favorite in classes, probably because we don't get a lot of time to do them either, and people need a little help with the structure, if you don't get straight lines. But no, the little details do make or break the painting every time. A little water line here or some extra little scraping of twigs and things can really make something pop.
A little bit of shadow underneath.
This little bit that he puts
Yeah.
in here is
Yeah,
just
that's a
like
perfect
gives
example.
a whole nother plane of depth that you wouldn't otherwise have, and it would just look like a big snowy
Hope you enjoy our little church in the snow. From all of us here, happy painting and God bless.
And he didn't sign it.
I
Bob,
think he
come
ran out
back.
of time.
He ran out
I
of
think he
time,
ran
yeah.
out of
Sign
time.
the painting.
He definitely did.
He had to
I
go
think he
Christmas
legit-
shopping.
Yeah, I think he
Yeah, he had
legit
to go
ran out of
Christmas
time on that
shopping.
one. It was
They-
June. He wasn't
gave
getting
him,
any
they gave him the
Christmas
symbol
shopping
Bob.
done.
Bob.
Right? Well, it's a long
And he
trek
didn't
up to
say
that
beat the
church.
devil out of it. And he didn't
Yes,
say
I
beat
think
the
he
devil
said it
out
up
of it.
top. I think he said it up top. He's forgiven.
Yeah,
guys,
thank you,
where
James.
can we follow you online, Erin? Tell
Uh,
people where you're at.
Instagram, Facebook at ECAD Studio. That's EKAD Studio. And then now on Twitch under the same name.
And your website, ecadstudio.com
Oh, yes.
with a K.
Yeah, it's ECADstudio.com. Yep, EKADstudio.com.
And you, Retro Runner, where can we find you on interwebs?
You can find me on twitch.tv/TheRetroRunner. You can find me youtube.com/TheRetroRunner. And if you want any of the music that I've made, you can have it for free at TheRetroRunner.bandcamp.com. So
Ooh,
those
I'll be
are.
hitting
Oh
that
yeah,
one up.
check out.
Oh, and you can follow me on Twitter as well if you want at @retro_runner. But those are all of my socials.
No, I'm not going to do that.
That's
But I did.
It's fine with me.
But I did.
I
I
don't have
did
a
listen
Twitter.
to a lot of your music on Bandcamp, and if anybody's a fan of guitar shredding and vintage video game soundtracks, then definitely go to that Bandcamp address. You should do a shred version of the Joy of Painting theme.
Oh, that's
Let's
an
make that
amazing
happen.
idea. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have
That's
to make
on
that
my
happen
bucket
now.
list. Well, that's why I'm here. You can follow us on Facebook at The Joy of Painting with Bob Ross and on Instagram at Bob Ross_The Joy of Painting for more info on upcoming Bob Ross events and giveaways. We do these rewatches once every month, and we still deliver original Bob Ross inspired stories of joy. Find out more about The Joy of Bob Ross, a happy little podcast, bobross.com/podcast. Check out all the episodes here on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. And we're back with another rewatch next month with more special guests, more giveaways, more Bob, and more joy. Tell us what episode you want us to watch here in the chat. Email us at podcast@bobross.com, or you can call us at 866-FANBRUSH. That is a real phone number. I'm Ron Scalzo, not Bob Ross. I'm Ron Scalzo, reminding you that you're only limited by your imagination. So take a deep breath this time of year, celebrate your victories, have fun, hug your grandma, and don't forget to practice. And you too can be an almighty podcast host. Happy streaming and good game, my friends.